It's Toby from Heavyweight MMA. Today with notorious Antz Nansen, combat fighter from New Zealand, Aotearoa. Kia ora, brother.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thanks for having me on this.
No worries, bro. First time I actually saw a video of you was at a notorious Christmas bash with Dan Hooker, bro. Interesting one, man. Throwing down with the almighty Dan Hooker, who's had a great performance as of late.
Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of people like online they've classed it as a fight, but it was just a sparring session. And whoever edited that video edited it well that it made me look good. In actual fact, I got a hell of a hiding that day from he would have been not even over 70, I probably think, but 70 kilos. But yeah, it was good. It was good. It's just something that they used to do, and something that was a fundraiser, I think it was at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I'm familiar with Aaron Boys and Karl Webber and those lads because they actually came over here. I'm in China. They came over here with a few of those lads that are killing it now, like Kai Kara France, Dan Hooker, etc. Back in the days in China, and met up with them. And so I was following them back then and seeing their Christmas bashes. They all just get together and throw down as a group. It was a good sort of party, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, a lot of people don't sort of remember, but or would know that Karl Webber and Aaron Boys used to throw a show called Supremacy, which was a big MMA event here in New Zealand. Because they're the grassroots of MMA New Zealand. You know, like they really tried their hardest to try put us on the map and everything. And the majority of the fighters now, even including Eugene Behrman, fought on that show. You know, and their shows was just as intense as their trainings. So and the way they are, so it was cool. It was cool to be a little part of it back in the day.
That's it, man. And speaking of the old school fighters, man, I saw your name in reference to Jason Suttie as well. Obviously, Jason's one of the old OGs of kickboxing in New Zealand as well. Tell me, what have you had to do with him over the years in his gym?
A lot, actually, to be honest. It was Jason that found me, Jason that put me onto kickboxing, Jason that sort of pretty much showed me the ropes of the game, you know. And it spent a lot of time with me, invested a lot in me, and I was a big part of me and my career.
Listening to a couple of interviews, he didn't quite get you to hit the ice bars regularly, though. That's his next step or challenge, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, like it must be so beneficial. Look at him; he looks like he hasn't really aged, you know. So, I do get the old come on, come do these Wim Hofs and that. But I'm not a big fan of the cold, eh?
Fair enough, bro. So, man, for anyone listening who doesn't know you, you've had predominantly you've kickboxed, but you've also boxed and also done MMA, man. What drew you originally to these combat sports, man? Was it just that you like fighting, you're out in the streets fighting and you channeled it, or what?
A lot of it has to do with the enjoying combat, you know, and enjoying challenge, you know. But a lot of my fights that sort of put me on the map were all last minute fights. They were like they'd ring me up on 2 weeks notice, or they'd ring up because they needed a fill-in guy, you know. And I was just grateful and lucky that I got good results out of them, you know. And if I didn't get good results, I performed well.
Bro, I read that you're 41 years old, man. How many years have you been in the game, in the actual fighting game?
I've been in it probably just shy of 20 years.
Long time, man. And when you think about it, bro, what has fighting kind of done for you, and what does it mean to you?
It means a lot. It's I think it has a lot to do with my character. It shaped my character. Sometimes even in the gym, we have people come through in that, and if the sport doesn't make them fighters, it makes them good people. You know, it teaches you a lot about respect, discipline, and just martial arts, just all around is a good thing for good. Turns out good people. You know.
Yeah, there's something about putting yourself in difficult kind of circumstances and pushing through adversity on a daily basis that I don't know, strengthens people, right, and makes them better people. I'm not really sure. I can't always put my finger on it, but it definitely does that, yeah?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I couldn't possibly off the top of my head think of how it does it, but I guess if you've been through it or you know people that have gone through it, you know 100% that martial arts is like, it's a good way of living, you know?
True. And you mentioned about motorcycle clubs and Brotherhood and whatnot, but the gym is the same sort of thing, right? Like you're creating a brotherhood and the people there all become like your best friends.
100%, 100%. It's all it is like I've gone somewhere like a motorcycle club where like-minded people have gathered. We all enjoy each other's company and we all have the sense of trying to just better ourselves through martial arts, through kickboxing, boxing, whatever it is, you know. And it does become a brotherhood, a family, you know, because there you go through some tough times, some adversities and that, and these people are your support people. These people are your family that sometimes you lean on.
Yeah, bro. And so you fought under those different codes, man. Obviously, I guess kickboxing would be the most available, especially in New Zealand, Australia, etc. But what's your favourite code? Like, do you have a favourite? Is kickboxing your favourite, or you prefer the others?
Kickboxing is my favourite, only because I've probably trained majority kickboxing. But I found a new love. I found full tie rules or kickboxing, but with 4-ounce gloves. That's my new favorite thing, man. I reckon it's the way forward, and it's the way like if you're into like action or MMA action without the jiu-jitsu, without the sort of rolling, if you're not really, then this is the way. This is what you want to be watching. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Have you been watching the ONE FC Friday night fights at all?
I have. And I love their rule sets. I love how they sort of fight in that. It's cool.
Bro, you know, Thai boxing traditionally is kind of slow starting and that. That one, I think they fight for 3-minute rounds, the small gloves, and they're giving them big bonuses for knockouts. So they come out like trying to kill each other, man. It's like a different sport almost. I went and watched it it's in Rajadamnern Stadium, is it? Or I think Lumpini, I think it's Rajadamnern. On the Friday, and they're killing each other, man. It's hectic. It's so different.
Yeah, it is different. Like traditionally, it's 5 times 3-minute rounds, and you have a 2-minute rest. And traditionally, ties, they don't even class the first 2 rounds as a fight. You could win the first 4 rounds, but win the last round, and you actually could win the fight. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but like you said, it's like real slow pace. You go with the music, starts off slow, ends off last round is just like a big war. But I guess with the bonuses and the way that one sort of taken over the sport, these 3 rounds are just action packed. You know, like these guys are like getting dropped, getting back up, trying to knock each other out, like just bleeding from the eyes and foreheads and stuff. And they're just like giving it their all, you know.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. But, man, they don't have too many big lads. I know there was one big lad from Australia fighting MMA on Friday night fights. We should get you over there for one of those, man, now that you're enjoying the 4-ounce, man. Get got in.
Yeah.
I think was it Lumpini? I can't remember which. It's one of those major stadiums it's in, but whatever it was, it would be awesome to fight there, right?
Yeah, it was Lumpini Stadium because at the moment my older sister's over there. She's taken the black gloves, the youth over for the World Games, and they were at the actual event. Yes, over at Lumpini Stadium. Crazy.
Yeah, I was actually over there. Like I think, it was last year. I was over there with a friend of mine, and unfortunately the edibles got the best of him, and he slept through the whole fights. But it was one of the most exciting shows that I've seen before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got to watch out for those edibles. Yeah. Definitely a bedtime snack. You don't want to be having those during the day.
Exactly, bro. Now, bro, like I see your record on Tapology. I don't know if it's correct or not. You had kickboxing 30 fights, 27 wins. Boxing 7 fights, 4 wins. MMA 2 fights, 1 win. And but I'm wondering, bro, like street fights, bro. How many have you had approximately? Have a guess.
To be honest, I could have. You couldn't put a number on it because from where we live in New Zealand, in South Auckland, in Mangere, even the other suburbs of South Auckland, it's quite normal. It's quite normal just to have street fights. You can just go out and have a disagreement with someone. Well, from my era, from when I was young, and just have a full-on brawl, you know. Get up, shake hands, move on. It was like the way of sort of sorting things when we were young. So I couldn't honestly put a number on it. I couldn't honestly,
Yeah,
but it will easily be fucking quite high. I'll take
yeah,
triple
yeah.
digits no doubt.
So much higher than your kickboxing record, I imagine.
Oh, 100% much higher than my kickboxing record. And there would be a lot of losses in there too, you know? There would be a lot of losses in there. But
Fuck,
it's just
bro.
it was a way of life when we were young.
It's interesting, bro, because you must be hard out there, bro. Because fuck me, if I walk out and had a disagreement with you, bro, I'll be fucking running the other way, not slowing down with you.
Yeah, well, it's quite a funny thing. Like, New Zealand just breed, like, just tough little bastards. Like, doesn't matter what shape or what they will give you a go. You know, everyone's having a go with anyone.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's still that way. You feel like it's still that way over there?
It's changed. Times have changed. People, I don't know. I suppose with lack of communication skills and everything, people are turning to weapons. Um, yeah, it's just like people like there's been a lot of shootings out here lately. I believe it's just from their lack of communication skills, that fear of like mana, which is like your strength and that, your like how proud you are. Like when you lose some of that, people like take that and like they're just not willing to lose any of that. You know, they'll rather shoot someone, risk 10 plus years of your life over a disagreement, which is not good. It's not good times for New Zealand, and I hope in a way sort of stops or things calm down a bit.
Yeah, man. And as you mentioned, like you said, fighting's helped you overcome a lot of things. I think that's where you could channel a lot of people. We always say it, right? Like the youth, etc. If they can get into combat sports, it can help channel their energy and aggression and whatnot into something that's a little bit more controlled, at least, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Like since coming out of retirement, my little sister runs SMAC gym out of Manurewa, which is quite like we've troubled youth everywhere around there. Like we'll be in the gym and you would get at least 20 of them walking by, like looking in. Well, we've got some good young lads in the gym. They hold good rep within their communities in that, and I feel like if we just work on them a little bit, people will look in and see these guys that they knew growing up doing well within the sport. You know, I mean, if we help one person feel like we've done our job, you know, but we're just lucky we've got about a good 10 young youth doing well. A couple of them have won New Zealand belts in that. And that's sort of like our thing at the moment, our buzz at the gym at the moment. Just helping
Man, with all the New Zealanders kicking ass on the international scene and at the top levels of UFC and then getting into the UFC, referencing Navajo Sterling yesterday, kicked ass, man.
Yeah.
These are really good role models, right, for the New Zealand youth just to look up and see what we can do, you know?
100%. Like UFC is the top tier for MMA, and for these youth and that, like seeing someone like Nav, you know, like just put in the work, getting there and getting the job done. For us, it's just sort of being available for them to try at least come in and have a look at it, you know. But yeah, well done on Nav. That was a hell of a knockout, man.
That was awesome, man. I was looking forward to that. And it gives you flashbacks. I don't know if you remember the fight with Dan Hooker and Burns. They both threw hooks at the same time, and Dan came off better, bro. That was like kind of reminded me of that a little bit, you know?
Yeah, 100%. It's like sometimes when you clock things at the same time, it's like whoever has the bigger heart, whoever's got the more dog in them will come out better, you know, better out of the exchange. And I felt like Nav just had too much for this other guy, you know.
That's it, man. On that, bro, who are the your sort of favorite international big name, I guess New Zealand fighters to start?
New Zealand fighters, 100% have to be Mark Hunt, Jason Suttie, Dougie Viney. Those would be my first three from from the old era. And just at the moment, pound for pound, I reckon probably one of the New Zealand's best kickboxers at the moment is Nikora Kenya. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's won King of the Ring 3 times. He's just a crazy natural, like natural fighter. I can't wait to see him hit the big stage, you know? We're just like struggling. Well, I'm not part of his team and that, but by the looks of it, they're struggling to find people just to fight him, you know?
Yeah, bro. Actually, I think I've spoken to all those guys you mentioned, bro, on this channel, actually, including Nikora,
Oh,
bro.
cool.
So,
Yeah.
Nikora's a legend, and just seems like such a nice guy too, man. Like, apart from the fact that he's a killer fighter, you know?
It's unbelievable the character change. Like meeting him and talking to him in the gym, you would not guess like that was the person that was just knocking guys out off like left, right, and center. You know, like he's such a dude. He's a real cool dude.
And bro, with your era fighting for 20 years, you would have been kicking off at the end of, I can't remember exactly, but it would have been just after all the K1 era with Mark Hunt and all that. You must have looked up to those guys a bit as, your hero.
Yeah, they were big, like really big, like even in the local scene, Jason Suttie was doing really well. You know, everyone knew his name and that. And then Mark Hunt done well in Japan. Like the guy that doesn't really seem like a fighter with his build was just like, and from South Auckland where I was from, like just went over and won the world competition. You know, like these 8 men are designed to like it's all good fighting one fight. You can find one fight and better, you know, the better guy on the day wins. But with 8 fights, it's like you just like test you mind, body, and soul, you know. And then it was cool to watch him. I watched that. I remember watching that, and just being so like proud to be not only Samoan like him, but from South Auckland like him. Viney was our last to win K1, which was a K1 Las Vegas. I think he won. He went over there and just pretty much killed the whole scene over there. So it was cool. It was really cool to be in the era where I could look up to these guys and remember them quite well.
And now Dougie's passing his knowledge on at CKB, right? And his son's kicking ass in the boxing too, yeah?
His son, so I've been very fortunate in the last, I mean, I've known Doug for a while, but in the last like 4 weeks, I've been doing a bit of work with him and just been around him and his team, because he does, obviously he's moved on to a bit more boxing. His son's crazy. His son has a crazy ability. He's definitely one to watch. You know, like he's going to be a star one day. He just has everything locked down, packed at the moment with discipline, his skill set, and just you can see the hunger in his eyes when he trains and that with his dad. You know, so and his dad being his trainer, like it's just like such a good combination for him.
Bro, it runs in the blood, and I'm a believer that not only you get like the traits of the family in your blood, I feel like you also somehow get the experiences that your family has done like back through your blood. I'm not sure how it works, but I've just seen my kids do stuff. They do things that you haven't taught them, and it's got to be something more than just, you know, basic traits that go through the blood, I think, you know?
Yeah, I believe like martial arts is like not only in the gym. Martial arts is when you go home. Martial arts is when you're out and about. You know, like, and I believe because our kids are consistently around us, they pick up little traits. You know, little traits of how we act and how we are with people, confidence, and how we sort of like hold ourselves. You know, so yeah, I reckon it is a big thing when you've got kids that are into it as well. They learn a lot faster. Like you said, for some strange reason, it just like passes down to them. Yeah.
And just thinking of Dougie too, I see on the, I talked to him on here too, but you got to be careful around the gym though. I see on the socials he's always trying to hump everyone. Sneaking up and humping everyone.
So since I've been there, like just training, some people have like obviously just freshly joined the gym, don't know anything about him, like just know of him and that. And when Doug does the stuff, like you get to see the look on their faces, like is this for real? Like what's going on here? And like, because we're all laughing because we just know, like it's funny. This is Doug to a T. You know, like this is him everyday life. I laugh at these new people like trying to decipher what's going on here, trying to like find out if this is like okay. You know, does everyone else find this okay? It's quite funny. It's some humor, man, and you need some humor in the gym. Humor in the gym.
Of course, man. It's all about taking the piss at times too, right? Like it's a funny environment.
That is. Yeah.
That's it, man. And we're talking about all these greats, bro. One of the guys I talked to recently was Lolo Heimuli, man. He's got such a great mind for fighting, man. Before some of these big fights, I message him and he messages me these like big, paragraphs on what he thinks people should do, like on his fights, etc. And he's just got a great mind, man, that guy.
Yeah, he does. He is the start of Muay Thai in New Zealand, you know, like he was one of Philip Lamb's first students, done really well, then went on to train all the greats of New Zealand, or majority of the greats anyway. I didn't have much training wise to do with him, but I've met him a few times at lunch and that, and far out. His brain is something phenomenal, you know, for the sport.
And bro, your Samoan background, man, how much of the culture have you been sort of part of being, you know, it's difficult. You're in New Zealand, you're kind of away from your own area. Like, do you speak the language? Do you follow the culture strongly?
When I was younger, I lived with my grandmother. I spoke really well. I still understand. I don't speak as well anymore, but I suppose with age, as you grow older, you sort of want to find out your roots and that. So I'm just sort of like just getting back into my whole roots and culture and that. But it's been fun. It's been good. I think everyone needs it, you know?
And what is it about Pacific Island culture then that lends itself to fighting, brother?
I think a lot of it has to do with the respect. It's quite high in the culture. And I don't know how to like translate it into from the culture, but like Samoan culture is quite staunch and quite like ballsy, you know, like obviously, I don't know, through warfare from the past, that was passed down amongst the generations, but I don't know, there's just something in Islander culture in general where they just breed like just ballsy fucking like men that are just willing to like pretty much die in the ring if they have to, you know?
And there's that warring side from years back, and it's only a few hundred years ago probably that people were actually warring, man. So that's got to be part of it, yeah.
I believe so. That too, and also too, like we've come from a country that I suppose you're rich in your country with like what you have, and then you come over to New Zealand, and then you struggle to make ends meet, you know. So like, both my parents worked so many jobs just to make ends meet and stuff, and put food on the table. And I suppose too, watching all that, like we can't waste opportunity, you know, as kids that came from hardship, like our parents doing all that, like we can't waste opportunities. So when it comes to fighting and that was your thing, then you just got to go 100 at it, like it's your full-time job, you know?
Yeah, bro, and it's popped into my head before you mentioned your sister. You're talking about baby, right?
Yeah. I was still talking about my little sister, yeah.
Yeah, I talked to her once on here before too. I don't know if you know. Obviously, fighting family, bro. Did that happen like by chance that you all like kind of followed each other, or is that you started it, or how did that happen?
So my older sister is she started first. So they all done like kung fu. We all done kung fu as kids.
Yeah.
Your dad was my father was real big. Yeah, but I absolutely sucked at it. I think I got to like I didn't even get to the next belt after white, to be honest. But they stuck at it and they done really well. As we grew older, we're quite closely related to Recefo. So Recefo took my sister and they started kickboxing. She started kickboxing over at Balmoral and where Lolo was from. Yeah. So through that, we sort of just gained that. So through my older sister, we gained that sort of want to sort of try to be like her and do that. My older sister went out to SMAC gym, and I just happened to bump into Jason and went with Jason. So we separated sort of ways, yeah. But we just stuck at it. We stuck at it and just done the best we could, you know.
Nice, man. So if you just stuck with Kung Fu, we could have just seen you strutting around wearing like a Chinese tie-up looking thing.
Oh, you could have.
Like this.
You could have. I might have been able to get a kick over my hip by now, you know. But yeah, like in saying that, like Kung Fu has a lot of parts to do with MMA. Like a lot of those MMA fighters have Kung Fu backgrounds. To do with kickboxing, I didn't think not so much, you know? I don't think much of the skill set that you get from kickboxing is what you needed or what you got from Kung Fu.
Yeah. I think as MMA in particularly kind of evolves, it's evolving so fast, right? And I think you kind of see what's effective and what's not. And although there's a lot more about martial arts, like you said, discipline, all these things, but in terms of just fighting, some of these old sort of styles become a bit redundant when you see people practicing Kung Fu and that online. Sometimes you're just thinking like lot of these things don't work. Some fundamentals work, balance and just basic striking and that, but in general, a lot of arts are pretty useless, right, when it comes to real fighting.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of it, like, is sort of like soft touch based, you know, like in theory based. But
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff from it that you can learn, like you said, balance and everything like that. But yeah, right. You do get that. You do watch a lot of things, and you're like, especially with how social media works now, freedom of speech, people like just posting real out of it stuff, and you wonder if they're like if they're mentally all right, you know, thinking that this would work.
Yeah, and like you said, you take pieces of all the martial arts that end up being MMA. So yeah, you can definitely take some great things from each art and then just kind of combine them together, right? So it's probably the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, I've kept you for quite a while now, so just one last question, man. Like, you've been through trials and tribulations, you've been fighting for years, you know, you're 40 years old. What's your sort of, advice for people that want to improve themselves in life, or young people, how to improve their life through training, etc.?
Yeah, I think consistency is key, and discipline is a must. And you got to visualize where you want to be. You can't start something and then just like ponder about it. You got to have an end goal. You got to think, and when you do have an end goal, you got to think as far as you can. Like in my era, I didn't think of UFC or anything like that. And then along came Izzy, and he imagined he could get there, and he fully got there with even Dan Hooker. So like, you just got to think big, and just make those steps towards it. Yeah.
That's it, man. You said about consistency and that. Talking to Lolo before, Lolo was saying how he's had guys come in that naturally have amazing ability, you know, like incredible guys, but they just came and went, you know, whereas guys like he mentioned Ray Sefo came in and he was the first in the gym, last to leave. He'd have a fight, he'd be there the next day. He would just keep training, and that's what leads to greatness, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, like it's a big saying in fighting itself, whereas hard work will always outbeat natural ability. You know, when natural ability is not working, you could be the best natural fighter in the world, but if you're not putting in any work, the next guy over that's not even a good fighter, but is just in there every single day consistently, like he will smash that person any day of the week. You know.
True. All right, man. It was nice to have a chat. Thanks for your time, brother. And
thank you for having me on.
Cool.
Yeah, too cool. All right. Have a good day. Thank you.
Take it easy.